everyone, so welcome to the third day of the review week thing that I'm doing, and today I am incredibly excited to be talking about the Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare and Rees Brennan and Maureen Johnson. I loved this book. I was as excited for this as I was for City of Heavenly Fire, as I am for the Dark Artifices and the Last Hours and everything, and I cannot wait for all the rest of the books, and just because this was so good and it just got me like thrown back in. I'm so stuck in the Mortal Instruments world now, and it was just amazing. So if you do not know what this is, the Bane Chronicles is the chronicles of Magnus Bane, who is a warlock in the Mortal Instruments, the Infernal Devices, Cassandra Clare's wonderful Shadow Hunter world. If you don't know about any of this, you are missing out, and you should go and read the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices and this, because Magnus is one of my favourite fictional characters ever, and this was amazing! But yes, okay, if you haven't read it, if you do not know anything about it, go away, because I don't want to spoil this for you, because it was incredible and I loved it so much. If you have read it, let's talk about it, please! So, I got this last week, and as soon as I got it, I was like, I need to read this, and I started making notes in it of all the different things that I loved, and I loved it. I've got a couple of these on my Kindle. I've read like 2 of them, and then when I heard it was going to actually be like a physical copy, I was like, okay, I'm not going to read anymore, I'm going to wait for the book. And I was not disappointed. It was worth the wait. It was brilliant. I didn't really know what to expect because it was just short stories, because sometimes it was going to be about characters that I didn't know and places that I didn't know, and it was going to be Magnus before he knew any of the characters that I knew and loved. The story that we open up with is what really happened in Peru, which was why Magnus got kicked out of Peru. We never actually found out in the end. It was supposed to remain a mystery, but in one of the books, doesn't Jace say, oh, that was more disturbing than the time I found out why Magnus got kicked out of Peru? So he does know, is Cassandra Clare just not telling us? Really liked this one. It was really making me laugh. When Magnus is learning the instrument, the charanga, is that how it's pronounced? And he's like, that explains the sound you're making, said Ragnar, like a lost, hungry armadillo. You are just jealous, Magnus remarked calmly, because you do not have the soul of a true artiste like myself. Told us to leave you in the desert because you plan to start your life as a cactus, Katerina said, her voice flat. Then you conjured up tiny needles and threw them at us with pinpoint accuracy. I really like Katerina, like, she's in the Mortal Instruments, like, occasionally. I really liked her in this. She seems so good and nice and genuine, and I really like her a lot. Next is the Runaway Queen. This one really made me laugh because Magnus was trying to get the attention of a guy, and it was really strange to have Magnus like flirting with people and dating people that weren't Alec, because that's what I was used to. But obviously we know about Camille, which who he dates in the Infernal Devices and everything, but it was just very strange to have him like flirt with people and stuff. But then I really liked it, and it really showed just him and like his life and the people that he'd been with and the kind of people that he saw, and he constantly mentions blue eyes and black hair, and it's so sweet, and it's so nice to see Magnus in love and just flirting, and it's just really funny, and I really liked it, and I was like, oh, they were a cute couple. Obviously Magnus and Alec had the GP going on, talking about words that he needed to know in Swedish. And it said the only Swedish phrases he'd ever really needed was, do you serve anything aside from pickled fish? And if you wrap me in furs, I can pretend to be your little fuzzy bear. It's a pet monkey, he calls it Ragnar, you know, as you do. In the next story, Vampire Scones and Edmund Herondale, it was kind of sweet and kind of cool to see Camille and Magnus like flirting, because I don't like Camille, but for a second I was like, I can see why they were together, and I like her. Just for a second, don't judge me. He just basically, there's an entire page of Magnus just talking about Camille's boobs. But the thing that really stuck out about this story was, of course, Edmund Herondale, who is Will's dad. And when he came in, he was saying about the hair and stuff, I was like, he's a Herondale. But also in this story, Magnus was watching as Amalia shooed out the young shadow hunters. The blonde boy, an older young man with thick brown hair and significant eyebrows, and a dark-eyed, bird-like girl, barely more than a toddler, who looked over her shoulder and said, Papa, in a clear, questioning voice to the head of the London Institute, a grave man called Granville Fairchild Go Charlotte, you know your duty. And I just was like, it's little Charlotte before she was the head of the institute, and it was so cool. And then Magnus properly meets Edmund and he's talking to him, and then they're walking and Edmund's drunk. See the girl about to get attacked. Very well, Magnus said. Let us pause for a moment and consider. Oh, you've already run off. Splendid. Jace would do that. Will would do that. He is a Herondale. Edmund gives up his Shadowhunter-ness for love to be with a mundane. He gets stripped of his marks. Magnus hears it. It was horrible to hear and to just visualize how much pain he must have been in and how much Magnus wanted to stop it and he couldn't. And I was getting a bit teary. I didn't cry because I don't know him enough. And then I finished that story. I got onto the midnight air and I fucking lost it. Magnus is out in London and he meets this boy who looks a lot like Will. And then he gets introduced to him and his name's James Herondale. And I was like, that's Will's son! So I'm reading and he's chilling with James. And I was like, and first of all, the fact that they named their child James, can we just discuss that? And then the London Institute was exactly how Magnus remembered it. Tall and white and imposing, its tower cutting a white line against the dark sky. Shadowhunter Institutes were built as monuments to withstand the ravages of demons and time. When the doors opened, Magnus began the massive stone entry and the 2 flights of stairs. A woman with wildly curling hair, whom Magnus was sure he should remember but didn't, answered the door, her face creased with sleep and crossness. What do you want, Warlock? Okay, I want you to go and tell Will Herondale that I have brought his wealth home. Bridget, he shouted, and Magnus thought, oh yeah, that was her name. Call for the Silent Brothers. Will finished. You mean call for Jeff? Still a silent brother then, is he? Will gave Magnus a withering look. It does tend to be a permanent state. No. Do stop flirting with my husband, said Tessa. I shall not, Magnus declared. But I will pause briefly so that I may catch up on your news. Tessa and Jem and Will are in a little triangle and they're all talking and I just lost it. When Jem leaves and he wants to play the violin, Will's like, I've left it where it normally is, all selfie. James calls him Uncle Brother Zachariah, and then again he calls him Uncle Jem, and I was just I think I'm more excited for the Infernal Devices sequel than I am for the Mortal Instruments sequel, like, because I need Will and I want to know more about them. I want to know more about how they were with Jem. I want to know more about James. I want to know more about Lucy. I want to just hear about all the stories and I just want to know more about them. And then the other story is The Rise of the Hotel du Mort. That was interesting to find out how all that came about. Magnus running a speakeasy, of course he does. Like, absolutely, of course he had one. It was just making me laugh. I liked hearing more about like Raphael and the thing between him and Magnus, and then we got to what to buy the Shadowhunter who has everything and who you're not officially dating anyway. It was so cute because he was phoning like Katerina and like Ragnar and everybody, and he was like, I don't know what to get him, like he has everything, I don't know what I'm supposed to buy him for his birthday. Adorable, and I loved it. And then I also loved the one about their first date and like Alec has to change his top and it's like blink if you want me or whatever it is. And I was like, I can totally just picture Alec in that, and they were just so cute and it was adorable to see more of their relationship and more into how it started and like all that kind of stuff. It was also cool to see the rise and fall of the New York Institute and more about those kind of people. The last one, which was the voicemail, was just the most heartbreaking thing. Alec, like Isabel was really making me laugh in that. Isabel speaking, let me just follow up by describing what a big mistake you would be making if you broke up with Alec. The Lightwoods are seriously hot people. Some people say that the Herondales used to be hot, but think about it. Not only do we outnumber them, we took their last hottie. We have the victory. I really liked this book and it just was making me laugh. I liked seeing more of Magnus and more into his life and more insight into everybody that was in it and made up of it, and more of his thoughts and the way that he handles situations and the way that he is. And Magnus is just good. He's just a good character and a good person, and I loved him so much, and I'm so glad that she released it, and I cannot wait for the one that she's releasing about Simon, because there's a little bit of a hint about Magnus taking a possible warlock baby home, and I can't wait. Yeah, let me know, what did you guys think of this book? What stories did you really like in it? What did you like to read about? What did you like to see more of? And all the characters and stuff. I would really like to talk about it with you because I love this book very much. So yes, thank you guys for watching. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope that you're having a good week so far.